Hi everyone, this is Ruth Sinkeler speaking, um, greeting you from the tropical city of Paramaribo in Suriname, South America. Today I wanted to talk to you about impact. In chapter 4 of the Sexy Leadership book, I speak of impact and why it is so important that you are aware of the impact that you make with the actions that you take. So I always say to people, action changes things. Yes. So if you want to achieve something, and it doesn't really matter what it is, either it's a small goal or a big goal. If you want to achieve whatever goal or dream, you have to come into action. You have to take action because without action, nothing happens, right? So action changes things. So I always tell people in my trainings and in my coachings to act according to their dream. But when you act, action also always, and remind yourself of that, action always has an impact. And the trick is to be aware of the impact you're making with your actions beforehand. So, for instance, if you, now let me rephrase that. Let me say it a different way. Our human brain is capable of anticipating, of thinking ahead about what the consequences can be of the choices that we make. So, excuse me, taking action is a choice, right? So we choose what kind of action we would like to take on whatever matter. Since our human brain is capable of anticipation, thinking ahead, we can foresee most of the time what the possible consequences, the possible impacts of our actions can be. If you are thinking about making a certain choice slash action, and your brain says, okay, but if you do that, then this might happen, and it's not something that you want, don't make that choice. Because once an action is taken, once an impact is made, you cannot undo it. Well, you can maybe, well, you cannot undo it, but then you have to say sorry or you have to change things, and it's a whole hassle. The reason why I'm talking about this today is because today I ended up in a Facebook discussion about a guy who posted something on Facebook to someone I know in her private messenger box. And it was not, what he said was not, yeah, that's an understatement, not nice. Yeah, it was really, I just call it, tell it the way it is. It was really racist. And she called him out on it, but in public. So we ended up in a whole discussion about it. And one of the things that someone said is, yeah, she shouldn't have outed him that way, etc., etc. And I said, you know, it's the impact that he made on her that made her do this because, and if he didn't want that, because later on he sent the message, well, I didn't mean it that way, and etc., etc. Can you take the message of Facebook? And I was in the discussion saying, when you are an adult, as adults, we are supposed to be able to know or at least predict, foresee the impact that we make with our actions. So before you act, it is really wise to think first. So not only think before you speak, but also think before you act and think before you put things on social media, because it will always get a reaction from somebody else. Because if you post something on social media, if you take an action on something else, if you say stuff, there will be reactions. Choices, actions have consequences, have impacts. So really be aware, and that is leadership, before you speak, before you act. Think, take your time, and think about, is the impact that I can have with my action here, is that the impact that I want to achieve? If not, do something else, make another choice. Because leadership is about responsibility. When you have done something and you have created an impact that was not the impact that you wanted to achieve upfront, you have done it already. You cannot change time. You cannot go back. We don't have a time machine. And take responsibility for your impact, and then another time make another choice and do it differently. Because people can change if they want to, and if they are aware of their behavior. Yes? So this is what I wanted to talk about today. It's in chapter 4 of the Sexy Leadership book. In chapter 4, I talk about impact, and I talk about actions, and I talk about responsibility and leadership. So if you are curious to know more, and if you are someone who thinks, well, I would like to change the impact that I make now, I want to better myself with the choices that I make, go to Amazon Kindle. It's only $9.99, $9.99 for the Kindle version. The paperback version is $18.45 on Amazon, and get your Sexy Leadership copy now and start changing your behavior for the better. Grow from good to great, from great to even better. And yeah, that's what I wanted to say today. See you again next week. Thanks for listening.